Hello, everyone, and welcome back to SSRG Research Stories. I'm still Prince Chiagozie Eko, and today I am speaking to a multi-award winning scholar who I would give the opportunity to introduce himself, but he's a fantastic scholar and researcher and practitioner. But I don't want to misrepresent him. I'm going to give him the opportunity to talk about all his awards and scholarships and all whatnot. But today, specifically, we are going to be talking about his award winning manuscript on titled Whispers of Memory: How Families Navigate Dementia Support Beyond the Biomedical Lens in Nigeria, which was published in Alzheimer's and Dementia. So, can you please introduce yourself, Mayoga?
Thank you, Prince Heko. I'm so delighted to be here, and I consider this a very great opportunity to speak about what is dear to my heart and dear to the life of people I've been serving for the past 10 years at the University College Hospital as a medical social worker, and also the fact that most of the experiences of people that are doing a lot of work to help people with dementia and also to help their community, and also the role of those people we don't really consider as official community, like the community in literature. We don't really see them to amplify their voices in a written form, like publication. And I'm so glad to be doing this. And what led to this was nothing but just the fact that I was once a young caregiver, person with dementia. We had no diagnosis before my grandmother. And that was about when I was about 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
So I joined social work when I was also very young. And my interest in
And
coming
you're
to
still
older
very
adults.
young, irrespective of all your achievements.
Yes, I'm still very young. So my interest in the care of older adults still intact. In fact, my undergraduate research was on older adults. Master's thesis at the University of Ibadan was even on older adults, and more specifically around how family have to context issues around long-term care or no long-term care, and the role of social support system in that space. So then the University College Hospital where I was working started the first geriatric center in Nigeria and even in West Africa sub-region. So I was posted as one of the first medical social worker at the geriatric center. So they said you can't be working there alone because we couldn't have much people to come to the clinic that time. So I was working both at the geriatric center and in the department of psychiatry. So I was merging psychiatry, geriatric. Every Thursday I must be at the geriatric center, and every other day I'm in psychiatry. So I was seeing more of older adults were losing the memory. And when I say losing the memory, forgetting things, I don't want to say dementia categorically, because over time, dementia itself doesn't really mean dementia in the world of family.
Can you
And I will
explain
still,
what that means?
yeah, I will explain in details when I get to the uniqueness of my research in itself.
Okay.
So as we know, and those period of time, I saw people with dementia coming to the clinic. So I would say memory. I will be using memory in all my conversations.
Yeah.
So, but I will give you more details around the uniqueness of this research. So I was seeing a lot of people with memory issues, and when they come, they stop coming. And I see
Okay.
new faces. When they come, they stop coming, and I start seeing new faces. It's out of curiosity as a medical social worker. Me and my colleagues, we started conducting home visits. Mama, we've not been seeing you in the clinic.
Yeah.
What is happening? But let me say it in Yoruba. So what you are doing doesn't fit me.
Ah, interesting.
That is one. Okay. Hey, sir, you start bringing your wife. What's happening? It's your wife to die at home. That is my biomedical assumption, my
Yes.
biomedical place. Ah, my boy, that place is too far. I spend nothing less than 500 naira every day to come to the clinic. And you guys doesn't stop there. I will tell me to do MRI scan, which is very expensive. Have health insurance. So why do I have to come to you guys when I'm not getting anything really? Okay, so that was where the curiosity started, and like, what is happening? We are not seeing people discontinue care. incredibly.
Yeah.
And that one is there. We also saw a lot of stigma. People don't want to attach themselves with people with dementia or people with memory problems. And over time, we saw that our clinic gets decreased. The number
Yes.
of people coming to our clinic gets decreasing.
Mm-hmm.
So we started, me and my colleagues who are
So,
neurologists,
so, so the number of people living with dementia is increasing, but the number of patients in your clinic is decreasing.
is decreasing exactly.
That's
So, and
interesting.
don't forget, a lot of places in Nigeria, most places are rural settings,
Yeah.
and there are most available primary healthcare settings that are not well equipped to really provide on-spot diagnosis or perhaps even to provide geriatric services. So we don't know what is even happening within rural communities, within communities. This is
Yeah.
just for us alone in the urban setting, working in the clinic.
Mm-hmm.
So we started the first psychogeriatric clinic, support group. So those we lost, who discontinued care, we pay for their transport fare coming through the support of our philanthropies, the hospital management, and the geriatric center. We started the geriatric health insurance scheme, which would allow families to be coming to clinic free of charge for a period of 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, due to changes in administration in Nigeria, that stopped. So we achieved a little success in that regard for just 1 year.
Yeah.
Just to let's do a stimulus test of what is happening.
Yeah.
So we had little increase in the number of attendants in the clinic. We have the first psychogeriatric support group, which has people with moderate dementia and their family. I mean, people with moderate memory issues and their family. So they come every 2 weeks on Thursdays, early in the morning, as early as 9 a.m., even before most social workers arrive.
Yeah.
So they talk about everything about their life. That's first thing. And second, we have one of us, mostly me, to tell them some of the red signs and warning signs and how to adjust as caregiver, how to live life as caregiver, because we all know it can be very stressful and burdensome as caregiver. So, and also how to self-care for themselves, because over time you could get stress in providing care yourself. So, but how you yourself could provide like a respite care.
So because you need to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else. If you're not taking good care of yourself, you might burn out and you won't be incapable of caring for someone living with dementia.
Exactly. So this research was all about the fact that the biomedical model alone, which we've been doing in hospital setting, cannot account for how families or people with memory problems, or we say dementia as we used to say, is understood, and how these families manage what they are doing in their everyday life. So that was why I started my PhD research. I felt, okay, we need a well culturally grounded model here. And maybe perhaps we could slow down our progression. We could see and detect the memory problems early. The goal memory, most our medical biomarkers have really shown that if we see it early, we can tame it and slow down the progression.
Yes.
Right? What can we do to bring family and to collaborate with family, or perhaps see those people whom they are seeing? So
because if the family is not on board, because of the communal living system, if the family is not on board, you cannot bring people to even identify the problem early enough.
Exactly. So something that makes this study unique is because we did what we call interpretive phenomenological analysis. Let me break it down, which is understanding the meaning of the experiences of these families. So
the meaning that the family is attached to their experiences.
Exactly, to their experiences, not just the experience alone, but what does it mean for you as a family member supporting someone that has memory issues? So that one was not enough, because that sounds really Western, kind of like you are telling me. So we added some elements of Afrocentric approach, which speaks to the Yoruba way of knowing and caring. So the Yoruba way of knowing has a cosmology. The Yoruba cosmology of the brain means that your brain is the origin of your destiny. So what does that mean within family? It means that family members are like the source of human brain and the source of our living. So how I use Afrocentric for the research, we use Afrocentric lens to really work with families. So this research data collection took about 2 years, kind of. I myself personally had series of meetings with geriatric centers in the whole 5 states in Nigeria, in the southwestern Yoruba-speaking states in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Went to each of the new geriatric centers and those that doesn't have geriatric center that has memory clinics. So I went to each of them because of my influence as one-time National General Secretary of all medical social workers, as well as my connection with different support system that I have, which I'm great. As you know, it takes a village to raise a child, like
Of
me,
course. Of course.
So, and that one was there. And then I had series of meetings with traditional healer.
Ah.
Yes, and the faith-based healer. For
Mm.
several, before I started my PhD, I've met some of these traditional healers and faith-based healers before because they see these people, they are very cheap, they are not expensive, they are closer to them, they are very, very culturally resilient.
Yeah, they understand the culture
They are
and
understanding the culture and
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I had a lot of familiarization meetings with the community elder in Yoruba, in the whole of Osun State. So in the whole of 5 states in Yoruba land. Moment which is very interesting is in Osun State, Ile-Ife, which oftentimes people call the source. Ile-Ife has a very rich cultural value that it almost gets faded when I came to Canada. That's the story for
Let's not talk about that today.
Exactly. So that was the first phase of my data collection. That took, I think, almost 3 months to really build that connection with these systems of support, including the ballets. We call them ballets in Yoruba land.
Yeah.
Which I think it's
What
called
do
a
that
different
mean?
name. So ballet are like the head of a community, which would sometimes be called, they are not chiefs.
Yeah. They're like elders.
They are like elders, exactly. So you can't go into a community without approval of this. They don't need ethics approval. Like they don't even want to hear those ethics things. They just want to have conversation with you. You go with Shinap, alcohol, Shinap. You go with prostrating. Like you don't call them by their name. It's like early in the morning, you have to prostrate their food, have conversation about life, and even join them in the farm. So I interviewed 15 families. So I came back to Canada. And then last year, I went back again. I interviewed 15 families. And as you might know, 15 families is too large for an interpretive phenomenological analysis. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
So it's not my fault. Because how would you go to a community where there were one family and you will leave the second family that has a family member with memory problem? Like you're going to cause a huge problem.
It will sound like you're discriminating. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I ended up having 15 families. It was actually 16, but the second person didn't complete the second phase of the conversation. So I had 15 families, and in each of these families, I had people who were not non-biological members, who were considered as family members themselves. So in total, I had 52 participants, and we had the interview in their homes and sometimes most times local spaces, not even in the hospital setting.
Can I cut you short because of time? Can you just run through any other, because you've mentioned some of the important findings, any other finding, implications and recommendations?
So what we found for most families is that more families sought help when symptoms became severe and visible outside.
So when they can't handle it anymore.
Exactly. We call it community trigger. So community often have to trigger the symptoms. So in urban areas where most people stay, families often start with hospitals but turn to pastors and religious leaders at the end of the day.
Interesting. Why the switch?
Exactly. Because of the cost of care and also the mistrust in the healthcare system. Also, in rural communities, we found families rely almost exclusively on spiritual and traditional healing system. So the traditional healer and faith-based healer were really, really valued for their emotional support, spiritual interpretations to some of the things like and your money, like it's part of the things that person brought from heaven. So I'm looking for that equivalent Yoruba translation, English translation, which is very hard to get anyway.
It's lacking. English is a limited language.
They also foster some element of hope. We saw community groups like the Asalatu. The Asalatu are like the Muslim community, and the Landlord Association, they play very unexpected roles in guiding health taking. But one thing that is very, very interesting is that some traditional beliefs like the spiritual attacks and also the causes often reinforce stigma and often delay care.
Yeah.
But this same belief system could offer emotional support.
So it's a
Stigma
two-edged sword. It can offer support
go
and
the
it can
other
also
way.
cause pain.
Exactly.
Mm.
And you most of us in the hospital who offer the biomedical system were often seen very helpful, but were often inaccessible and inconsistent with the cultural alignment. Like it doesn't align with the culture, which is the Yoruba culture. So what are we saying is that can we train healthcare providers to respect and engage traditional and faith-based providers? As a first step. So can we also develop like a cross-part early diagnosis by collaborating with these trusted systems of support so that we could see things early, like a cross-referral pathway. We could see memory problems early and also address it early and provide support. Like if we train and provide education to traditional and faith-based healers to see those warning signs and refer appropriately, we are not stopping them from providing something.
Yeah.
But we are all collaborating in order to improve the life of the person with dementia, and we could slow down the progression of the condition. So it is also very important that we could recognize caregivers agency, like they are already creating a very big hybrid care of support. So what we are saying is that Nigeria needs first a national dementia strategy that involves this trusted community system and respect the worldview of care.